Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another thrilling and exciting episode of Pinfalls. I, of course, am who else but Tommy else. And joining me, as always, is my Pinfalls compatriot, my adversary in this endeavor, Mr. John Wroblewski.
Bobby the Brain, Johngy the Brain.
Yeah, there's only one brain there between the two of you, and I don't think it's the one up top there,
We
my
shall
friend.
see. Before we get started, or I guess we're already started, before we progress, I will announce that yes, you have taken the lead this year and lifetime, obviously. You went 10-2 at WrestleMania. I went 9-3. No,
Hmm.
nothing shabby about that, but you have taken the lead. You are now one up on me.
Oh, yep. All right. So one up,
Two
one.
this year, one lifetime.
Real quick, what did you think of Mania?
I thought it was underwhelming. I thought there were a couple of good matches that I really enjoyed. The Cena one left me a little bit. Again, why must they? We didn't need the extra man in there. That was dumb. But
Yeah, the rapper guy, whatever. Yeah, I
yeah,
like. I don't even know who he is, and
exactly.
there's no relevance. I don't see how he played into any of it. It's first of all, it's a historic moment. It's the main event at WrestleMania. It's John Cena's final match in a WrestleMania main event, and he just broke Ric Flair's record. Who the hell is this guy out there in the ring with them?
Yeah,
Even if it was Snoop Dogg, it wouldn't make sense. But I don't know. But I don't even know who this guy is. That he's
and
been out there now for a couple of things. I just don't get it. I
not
just don't
only
get
was
it.
it unneeded, it was distracting. It added. It not only did it not add, it took away. It was just dumb.
Yeah, I feel the same way. It was a very like both nights. I mean, the main event, as much as we were saying the main event really is Sunday night's thing, I gotta say this year Saturday night really was the real main event. That was
Yeah,
as close to a main event match that they had. The only other one that I was excited about and it did end up it turning out well was the uh, El Grande Americano versus Ray Phoenix, which ended up being a replacement for Rey Mysterio. But I just again, I love that type of gimmick. So and those two had a good match, but
but
otherwise, underwhelming is a very good adjective for it. So
this is what happens when you stretch it out to 2 nights. You got too many stupid matches on there. Make it one night, have your just big matches that everybody wants to see, and make it a powerhouse.
yeah, right, yeah, I agree.
More is not always better.
I agree. I agree. You know, too much of Johngy can be
Oh no,
be
no,
a
that's
lot.
for the exception.
Yeah.
There's never too much of Johngy.
So, but in the aftermath or the backlash
Nicely
of
done.
WrestleMania, uh, we do find ourselves here now about 3 4 weeks past Mania, and as Backlash has been known for, it's the typical follow up to WrestleMania, where we see some either rematches or you see some continuations or and in some cases some new storylines starting off. So as of right now, we've only got 5 matches that have been officially announced. SmackDown still has to air, so there's a chance there could be a sixth one. I don't
Well,
think
even on the
they'll.
WWE site, actually, there's only four announced. The fifth one
Yeah.
I picked up from another site, so I'm not even sure about that one.
Well, we'll throw it out there, and if they
Yeah,
have the match, they have the match. So, well, let's start with the WWE Intercontinental Championship, which was won at WrestleMania by Dominic Mysterio. He will be defending it in a match against Penta. This is probably one of the more exciting matches, honestly, that I'm looking forward to. I like Penta. I'm actually happy for Dom to have gotten his IC title. I think he certainly has earned it, and I think this will be a good match. Penta's hot right now and everything, but it's taken Dom a long time to get this belt. Uh, Judgment Day is on shaky ground, and I just I'm gonna go with Dominic. I'm a little concerned about potential interference from Finn Balor, who I think is pretty much at the end of his rope with the Judgment Day situation. Um, and I would be all about seeing Penta get the title, but I think that I don't think it would be the payoff that people would want. It's like it would be nice to see him get it, but I'd rather see him have to work like between now and SummerSlam and then win it there. Build him up some more. He's got a good start. He's on a good run, but he needs to run a little more before they take the title off of Dom and put it on. They're not going to make him a. They're not going to make Dom a transitional champion after everything he's done. He's earned that title. He should get it. He should get a little time with it. So
Once again, I agree. He's not going to be a transitional champ. They're not going to give him the title, then take it off. I do think you raised a valid point with Finn Balor. It might be a DQ win
yeah,
for Penta, so the title doesn't
right.
change hands.
Yeah.
But so I mean, are we allowed to predict DQ wins? Then I would predict Penta.
If you're going to stick hard to that, yeah. I mean that's your prediction. If that's your prediction that he's that it's the DQ and Penta wins. So
But then again, a DQ for a fan favorite. I'm going to stay with, boy, I'm 50-50 on this. I'm going to stay with Dirty Dom, though. And I think
okay,
this might be the start of a face turn but then again, that could go with the interference. But I'm sticking with Dirty Dom.
yeah. Don't hurt your brain on this one, man. It's not worth it. It'll be all right.
I think I pulled something in there.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. We've got the United States Championship on the line. Current champion Jacob Fatu, who also got his title at WrestleMania, is in a fatal four-way match. Never been a big fan of the fatal
Hate
four
it.
ways. Only under the most specific of circumstances can a fatal four-way really, mean something. And more often than not, it's just a way to throw a bunch of people in at the same time. So,
Exactly.
which is what this is. So Jacob Fatu will be defending that United States Championship against LA Knight. Yeah, versus Damian Priest and everybody's favorite, the most entertaining and charismatic wrestler on the roster, Mr. Drew McIntyre. Um, I see no reason in this situation either for Fatu to lose his belt after only about a month. I think that LA Knight and Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre are just there to kind of help enhance, this match and put over Fatu. Um, Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre are still pissy at each other for, their match at WrestleMania. LA Knight's kind of just trying to figure out where he fits in all this, I think, at this point, which is too bad. I really feel I don't like what's going on with LA Knight. He deserves better than the position that he's in. He should have a major storyline. He doesn't necessarily need a title, but he needs to be more front and center than he is, and he's becoming just kind of like a mid card kind of afterthought, and he has a lot more to offer than that. So that's my prediction.
I hate this match. I hate this match. I hate this match. Fatal four way. Let's throw four guys in. I'd rather have it just be two singles matches. Have Priest not have Priest fight the other guy. Have Fatu fight your guy, and that's it. Having a four way is ridiculous. It's just let's throw these guys in there because we have a bunch of wrestlers. I hate this match. Jacob Fatu wins.
Okay. All right.
And that's I
Well,
hate that match.
yeah. So we have our next matchup is it's nice to see one of these. It's been a while since they've had something along these lines. We've got from the announce position, Mr. Pat McAfee will be going up against the Ring General Gunther. And This all started when I guess Michael Cole had made some remarks regarding Gunther's loss at WrestleMania, which might have been one of the absolute worst moments of WrestleMania, in that he tapped out to Jey Uso in about 1 second after being put in his own submission move. This is not something that Gunther would have, as a character, ever done. Now,
Totally
maybe
agree.
I don't. I think he could have gone years without tapping. To be quite honest, like Kurt Angle went years before someone actually made him tap. I think they could have done that with
And you
Gunther.
build it up a little bit more. You don't just,
Right.
oh,
And then if he does, if for some reason he is going to lose by submission and tap out, he should have to be in it for a while and come close to getting out and then get pulled back and get close to getting out and then get pulled back.
maybe even
Not
pass out. Out
Gunther,
Stone Cold.
Gunther could have been fast asleep and someone come up and put him in that submission hold and he would not have tapped out that fast. I mean, there's just no, it just was ridiculous. So anyway, I'm not the only one criticizing him for this affair. Apparently Michael Cole had some words for him, and so Gunther went and attacked Michael Cole. Pat McAfee, being the mensch that he is, went and confronted Gunther to try to defend good old Michael Cole, and ended up taking a pretty solid ass kicking in the process on his behalf. And so he is requested to have a match in the ring with Gunther. I do like this story. I like this. I like, like when they have like two refs fight each other, or, you kind of get some of the people outside who are, the announcers and stuff like that involved in one of these, only once in a blue moon, and it's got to be done right. But this is cool. I'm okay with this. Um, there's no reason in the world for McAfee to win this match. There's just no reason for him to win this match. If he wins this match, Gunther may as well retire. I mean, if he tapped out that quick at WrestleMania and then he gets beat by one of the announcers, I mean, after the legacy he's already built, he's been a champion for 80% of the time that he's been in the WWE so far, and then this happens. I mean, that's not just like a losing streak. I mean, that's like, career is done. Like nobody's going to be afraid of Gunther anymore. So I don't know where they're going to go with it after that, but I just don't see McAfee winning. I'm sure it'll be an entertaining match. I have a feeling if somehow McAfee wins, it's definitely going to be with the assistance of someone who's going to do a run-in or something like that. I couldn't tell you who I think that is, and I can't guarantee that that's going to happen. So if I got to just choose between the two with outside interference not factoring in, I'm going with McAfee.
I hate this match almost as much as I hate the four-way. Unlike
Unbelievable.
you, I don't like the announcer getting involved. Even if, I know Pat McAfee played in the NFL, tough guy, big guy, I get it. It does nothing for Gunther to win. I mean, you beat an announcer, albeit a tough announcer. What does it do
Well,
for
it builds him up as a bully. It builds him up as a bully and a heel. I mean, it's not. I mean, like, look, if this was Michael Cole versus him, then yeah, I would be like, this is ridiculous. At least there's some, like you don't expect McAfee to win, but you figure he'll at least get a couple of decent shots in on the guy and stuff. But I think the upside for Gunther in this, even if he lost, if he beat the crap out of him, it still just builds him up as a heel and a bully. And I think that's kind of the direction they're going with.
Well, funny you should say that. Because like Bob Seger, I'm going against the wind on this.
Okay.
McAfee wins because Gunther is going to beat the hell out of him and probably continue to beat the hell out of him until he gets disqualified, giving McAfee the win. You want a bully, you got a bully. He's going to beat the crap out of McAfee. McAfee wins. We have a difference.
But if they stop the match because like McAfee can't go on, like the Stone Cold, Bret Hart
I
type
didn't
of
say
thing.
that. I said he's going to just no. Now he might. Gunther
He
might
doesn't. He
win.
doesn't have to get. He won't just get. He won't get disqualified if he's just beating the crap out of him.
But what if Gunther wins and then continues to beat the crap out of him, and they reverse the decision and give him the DQ?
They don't. They can't do that. You
Why
can't
not?
do that. Because it's the rules. You can't reverse the decision post the match. If he wins the match and the bell rings,
Well,
and
if no, I'm saying like
he takes out a gun and shoots him in the foot, it doesn't
no,
count. You know
like
they can't.
Gunther's beating the hell out of him in the corner, and then the ref comes in and tries to pull him apart, and Gunther refuses, or Gunther pushes the ref and continues pounding on McAfee. Then the ref calls for the bell, DQ.
Yeah, no, that could happen. That could happen. You're right.
Don't rain on my parade.
All right, all
McAfee
right,
wins.
all right. Well, then that's one. Then
Can't
we've
believe we have
got
a difference, and the difference is I got to cheer for McAfee to win. This is dumb.
no.
I
Okay,
hate this match.
so we got one. We got one there. All right. Let's move on to the Women's Intercontinental Championship, which is currently held by Lyra Valkyria versus, and she'll be defending it against none other than your favorite, the man, Becky Lynch. I am not a Lyra Valkyria fan at all. I don't get it. I think she's okay in the ring. Personality and character wise, I just don't really, I'm not drawn to her. Uh, Kind of reminds me of Winnie from the Wonder Years if she was a wrestler. She's kind of got like that same face. Um, and I wasn't a big fan of Winnie, so maybe I've got some deep-seated bias in there too. But
She's no Topanga.
she's no Topanga. Don't get me started. So with this particular match, so Becky Lynch is back. She's running heel right now. Uh, and it's very well known that she's also married to Seth Rollins, who has turned full heel now with Paul Heyman and Braun Breaker in his corner. I am fully expecting her to join that faction because one reason she can't be a face, she can't be a face while he's a heel. It just doesn't work. And so there's a reason that they made them both heel at the same time. Okay, so she's got to be bound for going over there. Now, that doesn't necessarily guarantee her the belt, but if let's say she's out there in the match and Rollins, if not himself, sends his crew out there, maybe that helps her get the win, or maybe she wins it on her own and then later on she's going to join up, but now they've got a title in the group now. I'm going with Becky Lynch for this one.
I could see
I
them extending this one more pay-per-view to keep the feud going, but then they could extend it either way. Here's a reference. Unlike the WNBA, where the Golden State Valkyries won, this Valkyria is going to lose. Becky, the man, the two belts. Becky, love Becky being back. Becky's going to win this one.
Yeah, and Becky does a good heel too. I think I like heel Becky better
I
than
do like
face
heel
Becky.
Becky better. Heel Becky better.
Yeah.
It's not easy to say.
All right. Well, that brings us to our main event, presumably. Uh, the undisputed WWE Championship, held by record-setting 17-time champion John Cena, defends against longtime rival, the Viper, the Legend Killer, Randy Orton. Um, I remember very clearly when Orton and Cena came on the scene within like months of each other, or maybe even a month of each other. And you could tell, I remember back then thinking like, this is like our next Stone Cold and The Rock. Like these two guys, it's perfect. They're around the same age. You've got one who's a perfect heel, one who's a really great baby face. I mean, it worked. Um, Over the years, they have certainly had many, many battles, but I still feel like they never truly tapped the full potential of the rivalry that could have been. I think that this should be a much bigger match. I think Cena's going to be going to be trying to defend this title for the rest of his time until he goes. So I can almost tell you in advance from here until December, he's going to win every one of these pay-per-views. Okay. So he's going to win this one. I think given the history between Orton and Cena, Orton should have been near the back end of this thing. Like not the first guy who's got to try to take a swing at it. He should be like we've gone through
Bill.
everybody. Right. We've gone through, some of the lower guys trying their thing and stuff, and now we got to pull out the guy who's, had almost, more matches with him than probably most other people. So I just think it's very premature to be doing this match. And they will be in St. Louis. They will be in Orton's hometown, and he says that he's going to do it for his family and friends who will all be there and everything. But I know you're not into that concept. Neither am I really. And so I unfortunately think not only is Cena gonna win. I just have a hard time seeing this being a good match, which is really, I know it shouldn't be even a thought. It's John Cena versus Randy Orton. It should be a given. Like this should be like no problem, hands down, match of the night, right? It's the way that they've been using Cena since he's come back. Like even in his match at Mania, it was like, yeah, I mean, it was like it was a good fight, but it wasn't like, I don't know. And while he and Orton have had some good chemistry over the years, it's been a long time since those guys have been, working with each other regularly and stuff like that. So for them to go in a regular match and have any kind of like knockdown, drag out fight or anything like that, I'm not expecting that, at least. I mean, I'd be surprised if it was that intense. I have a feeling that there's just going to be some stupid schmaz in this whole thing that Orton gets screwed over somehow. I doubt it'll be a clean win because it's interesting that now Cena is the heel and Orton is the face in
Well,
this
it's the first time
situation.
that's ever happened.
Right. So, I mean, I'm interested to see how it's going to go, but this whole thing, I'm telling you, this from now until December, the whole story is who's going to be the one to save the title. If Orton wins the title this Saturday, then Cena's got no shot at getting it back. They'll do everything they can to give from getting him another title opportunity. And what's he going to do? Become an 18-time champion on top of that? Not going
That
to
would be a
happen.
surprise. Cena
They
gets
get,
beaten.
it would, it would, but I don't see how it serves them. So I really believe that's where the storyline is going to go. And like I said, I can pretty much tell you that every pay-per-view up until at least November or so, until I see where things shake out, Cena's going to win whatever match he's in defending the title. So there it is.
See, I hate that because that makes it too predictable. And there's got to be a swerve of some sort in there. Maybe Cena, hear me out. Maybe Cena loses the title and then starts chasing it again, wins it like in the last show of the year, and then retires it. I don't know. It just
But then
seems too
he's
predictable.
an 18-time champion, and think about how long they held out on the coveted 17, and then they're going to hand him one more right before he
Yeah, but it's not
retires.
going to matter anymore anyway because guys are winning titles left and right. Somebody's going to pass at 18 or 17 in a couple of years. It's like a hot potato. It doesn't matter anymore.
Well, that's a shame.
But I do disagree with you too. What a shock. I think this is going to be a really good match. I think they're going to pound the hell out of each other.
I
I see
hope it is. I have low expectations, but I hope you're right.
I see them doing a lot of each other's moves. You know, the F5, the whatever, back and forth. Cena wins clean. Well, I don't know if Cena wins
You're like
clean.
two iterations behind. It's the attitude adjustment. It
Oh,
was it
sorry.
it was the FU, but now
Sorry.
it's
But
the
I see
attitude.
Cena's going to win. No doubt.
Yeah. So, well, there it is. That's Backlash. We only have one dispute, which it's interesting. I understand. It's kind of a wild card match there with McAfee and
Great. My
Gunther.
hopes lie
So,
with McAfee.
well, yeah, we'll see. I mean, they definitely. I can see them trying to go for the feel good moment and everything. Where McAfee wins. I could also see, McAfee like getting his redemption somewhere down the road too,
And I don't want that either. I don't want another match with these two.
Well, it may not even be a match. It might even just be, he finds some way to screw him or something. So who knows? But we'll see. I mean, I'm interested in it. I do like Pat McAfee. Um, I didn't know anything about him before he came to the WWE. I'm not a football guy, like not enough to know. And but he is very good on the call and gets some genuine laughs out of me sometimes. And I think he has helped as much as I know that behind the scenes, Michael Cole has helped make McAfee what he is as an announcer. I think he's a very good accent to Cole and enhances Cole because as much as everybody loves and reveres Michael Cole, I just will never. I just can't deal with Michael Cole. I still,
I agree.
he's better than he used to be. But if you had told me back in like 99, 2000 when he was starting to like call like SmackDown and stuff, that 25 years later he'd still be on that position, I might have stopped watch wrestling. I mean, like I was just like, man, I hope this is short lived. Oh God, why they got Michael Cole doing them? Oh man, I mean, like I absolutely just couldn't stand it, and for so long, just not a fan, not a fan. Now, I have more respect for him now, and I think he's gotten to be a better announcer on top of it too. It's like his character changed a little bit too, somewhere in there, and so it's
Well,
like
once
it's more.
Vince left, he
It's
gets a little more. Oh, there's probably a little
I
bit
think
more
he,
Michael
I think
Cole in
he,
there.
I think he can breathe, is what it
Yeah,
is. He's not worried about the boss reaming his ass out all the time now. I think that's a company wide thing. I think there's a lot of people who just feel more comfortable and less stressed about things now that Vince is out of the picture. So, but with all that said, though, McAfee's been good for Michael Cole.
well,
So we'll see.
real quick, interesting thing about McAfee. Now, I don't know how much truth and how much of this is just, glorified story. He, in an interview, he said that one of the reasons why he retired from football at the age of 29, he was on an airplane and Scott Armstrong was sitting next to him, and they started talking. Scott Armstrong, the ref,
Yeah.
and McAfee was talking to him about wrestling and how to get into wrestling, and McAfee and Scott said, "Well, we really don't take anybody. 30 is kind of the cutoff point." And McAfee was 29, so he said to himself, "If I'm going to do this, I got to do it now." So he bought a ring, he put it into his barn on his farm, wherever, and he started practicing himself.
Well, I believe in his passion. I do believe he has a real passion for it. I think that you see somebody enough on television in that type of position, those reactions, you can't fake that kind of
Right.
energy, and stuff. And that's somebody who's really honestly excited about what's going on and is happy to be there and is having fun. And that's one of the best things to see is, like when not just with wrestling, but like even like if I go see a band and it's like it's one thing to hear them play, but if they look like they're having fun up on stage, it makes the show even better.
Exactly.
Seeing entertainers in whatever form of it that are having fun doing what they do makes it more entertaining. And
Like
so
we have fun
yeah, sometimes. When was the last time we had fun? I don't know.
today.
It's been a while. Really? You had some? Well, I'm glad you had some fun.
It's all that
Well,
matters.
with that, Backlash, of course, as always, will be available on Peacock. If you're outside the U.S., I believe it's available on Netflix. They're doing all the pay-per-views there now, so it's worldwide. Central Time, if you're out by us, I believe it begins at 6 o'clock. Pre-show at 5. If you're into that whole thing,
Saturday.
so Saturday, Saturday. So we'll be back next time with another episode of Pinfalls, and we'll see what happened at the Backlash. So, as always, I of course have been who else but Tommy Ellis, joined by the man on the beat from JohnGSpeak.com, Mister John No Brain
Oh,
Rob Wroblewski.
wow, that hurt. You had some backlash.